Welcome back everyone to today's video. We're going to be doing a mushroom roulade. So it's basically going to be chopped mushrooms and grated mushrooms. We're going to be cooking them, and then we're going to be filling it with soft cream cheese. We're going to be using chestnut mushrooms just for a little bit of colour. This recipe is gluten free and ideal for vegetarians. So let's get cracking on the dish and let's see what it comes out like. We're going to be using a Russell Hobbs mixer. We've got a big bowl there, grater, chestnut mushrooms, egg whites. We're going to be using this, never used it before, but this is Creffy whipped soft cheese with herbs. You can get different flavours of these. Aldi are selling like probably about 8 different types. So you can get them with some blush tomatoes in them and olives and feta cheese, but we're going to be using this one. Now this is our tray that we've got already done. This has already been lined up with a bit of oil and greaseproof paper. Obviously we're using a bigger tray. You might need to use a little smaller one. So as you can see, a comparison, there's a little bit of difference in size. I've got 10 egg whites in this bowl here, so there's 10 egg whites. Now we might, if you're going to do a small tray like this, you're probably going to need about 5 egg whites. So let's crack on and get the mushrooms prepped up. We've already preset the oven on about 180 degrees or about gas mark 6, ready for this to go in when it's done. So the first job that we need to do is get the egg whites in. Obviously make sure your bowl is dry. Some people warm it up a little bit first. I don't think you need to. You just need to make sure it's dry and there's no bits of debris food or dust or anything in it, or otherwise your egg whites will not whip up. So first thing first, let's get this on like so. Turn the power on, obviously, when I can get it to lock on if it's not locked on for some strange reason. So that's going on now. As you can see, that's whipping nicely. So while that's whipping, let's get a little knife and we're going to prep the mushrooms up. The mushrooms, I'm going to be grating some of them, just purely because you need it to stick together. So we're going to be grating it like so. Let's come back a bit. So as you can see, they're going to be grated. And we're going to chop some as well. The thing is, if you don't grate them and you try and cut it, you'll struggle trying to cut it because the mushrooms will be too big. So we're going to grate these mushrooms. Now we're not cooking these. The mushrooms don't need to be cooked first. Some people say, well, you cook your mushrooms first. Don't need to cook your mushrooms first because they'll cook in this mixture. So basically, it's just going to be egg whites and mushrooms mixed together, folded in. Now a lot of people struggle on trying to fold in, but I'm just going to show you. Just use your hands, don't use the spoon to fold in. Use your hands, open your hand up like that, and then mix it in like that. Nice and easy. So this is a pretty simple recipe. So we get a few mushrooms in there, as you can see. Put a few more in. I will chop a few in, but not many. The chestnut mushrooms are quite nice and tasty, but you don't need to be using, just make sure they're nice and fresh, else otherwise they're all watery and you'll struggle trying to grate it. You can grate it on a machine if you want. I'm choosing not to because not everyone's got a machine, so I'm going to try and do a few of these recipes not using a machine. These are coming up nicely like that, and I don't even think we need to chop some. I think we'll be alright grating it. It's grated it quite nice and neat. So you can do this by hand like I say, or you can put it on a machine. It's entirely up to yourself. So that's going to be grated. So we've used quite a bit of mushrooms there because we do want it to taste of mushroom. But we'll just grate it all, and then if we don't need it, whatever we don't need, we'll save. You can freeze this roulade once it's done. Again, you want to be putting it into an airtight tub with a lid on it, bang it in the freezer. Now with roulades, you need to make sure that they're reasonably cool, also otherwise they'll crack when you try rolling them. Or your ingredients that you're putting in the middle will melt. A lot of people have probably made roulades in the past. They put the filling into it and then it's just melted away. That's because it's just purely too hot. So that's all done. So we'll get back to you in 2 seconds when the mixture's about ready. We'll show you what we're going to do with it and we'll get it into the oven. But as you can see, the mushrooms are done. The egg whites are done, almost. We'll crank this up to as high as we can and then we'll start folding it in. Right, so the egg whites are almost ready. How do we know whether they're done? Let's take them out. Obviously they need to be peaking like they are. Bring that out. And let's just tip this upside down on his head. Here goes. It's literally on my head now. On my head. So we know that the peaks are working. We're just literally going to put this in like so. Using my hand, mixing it all in. So yeah, there's no folding in, just pretty much mixing it in like so. And that's about ready. The oven's already set, almost ready to go on. Just need a little bit of salt and pepper in there, like so. A little bit of this in there. Just need to get my tray, which I'll put down somewhere. There we go. Put this in. Nice and easy. Now you need to try and get it as level as you can, just so it cooks a bit more evenly. Just make sure it's right up to the edges. It's really important to put it right up to the edge of the greaseproof paper, because you won't get it off otherwise. You'll struggle a little bit. Get a palette knife, level it all off. If you find you've put too much in, take some out. Like that, and it will shrink a little bit. I've probably put a little bit too much in, so I'm going to take a little bit more out. So for the small trays, I reckon you probably get away with about 3 egg whites. These bigger trays, obviously I've used 10 egg whites. I reckon we could probably have got away with maybe 8. But this is quite big, as you can see. And that's almost ready to go on. And there you have it. That's all prepped up, ready to go. I'll just clean my hands off. We're going to get this in the oven now. We're going to stick this on the top shelf. So follow me to the kitchen. I'm trying to get you in, Steph, if you can help it. Excuse me, chef. Busy worker. So we're going to stick this on the top shelf, and then if it rises too much, we'll drop it down to the next shelf. So get your timers set, everyone. So that's it. So that's just waiting for that to cook now. So there is a little bit of mixture left. And we'll just keep his eyes on the cooking time on that one. I'll try and record it now so we know how long it's going to be taking. Right, so the roulade is about done. It's been in for about 15 minutes. Let's take it out now and just show you what it looking like. That's perfect. Still nice and soft. I'll just show you a better picture as we're going along. So that's how it's looking. Now what you need to do is you need to take this out while it's still warm, but not roll it until you need to. So that's already out. So we're going to do a little trick. We're going to flip it onto one onto the table. Sorry, we're not going to flip it onto the table, we're just going to take it out like so. And we're going to flip this onto this board like that. So that's all done, that's coming out. It must be quite rough trying to take it off. If you haven't got a palette knife, just use a long carving knife like that. And I'm just going to start on this edge, and I'm just going to carefully like peel it back but hold it down, as you can see. It needs to be you need to be doing this bit while it's warm, because it'll come off easier. Try and do it when it's cold, you'll have a nightmare. So we're just actually tapping this down while we're peeling it off, and just keep going like that. Let's keep going. Obviously you're cooking the mushrooms and you're cooking the egg whites. If you cook the mushrooms in advance, it'll be too wet, and then you'll just not be able to roll it. It'll just be all mushy. Obviously mushrooms contain a lot of water, so you don't want to be doing that. So we'll just take all this off now, which is nearly done. The buzzer keeps going off for the minute because we're getting to the stage that we're getting quite busy at lunchtime. So I'm trying to rustle this up as quickly as I can. So when I'm doing some of these videos, I'm trying to squeeze it in while I'm doing other bits of jobs. So that's the reason why we try and do quicker ones. We do the odd long ones, but we'll try and do quicker ones, so that if you haven't got loads of time, you can do it. So that's it. So that's the mushroom roulade already done. Now we need to leave this to cool now. Let me just show you what happens if you put on some of this hot cream cheese. So if I put some of that hot cream cheese on, it will start melting. You can see it started to melt a little bit. So let's just leave that to cool down a little bit. Once that's cooled down, so leave it probably maybe 5 to 10 minutes to cool down. Once it's cooled down, we'll get it rolled, we'll get it cut, and we'll show you what it looks like. So the mushroom roulade's cooled down. I'm just going to show you what temperature it's reading. Let's see whether we can get an accurate reading. It's reading about 39 degrees. I don't know if you can see it on that. Yeah, about 38 degrees. It's going down. We've got an infrared electronic probe. Just gives us a quick reading on what it is. Now that's cool enough now to be rolled. So we're going to put plenty of this. So this is cream cheese and mixed herbs. You can buy cream cheese yourself and then just add whatever filling you want to it. I'm putting quite a bit in it. Just be quite gentle when you're putting this on, because otherwise it will break it. And just keep putting. Yes, Jake. So yeah, we're busy trying to get lunchtime service done. So if you're making a smaller one, you'll probably get away with one pot of these. And by all means, try some of these sun-dried tomato ones. You're better off buying the pots, because the sun-dried tomatoes are quite expensive to buy. So if you buy these little pots, I think these were about £1.49 a piece. So not exactly massively expensive. And any of this that's left, bang it on some cheese, bang it on some crackers, and have it as cheese and crackers for your tea later. Lovely. So yeah, it's quite done. I'm not too worried about getting it right up to the edges, because I'll show you why in a bit when I roll it. This is where it becomes a little bit more tricky, rolling it. Now obviously I want a bigger length. I could roll it small, I could roll it that way if I wanted, so that way, which will then mean that it's going to be quite a chunky one. But what I want to do is I want to just try and keep it nice and neat, nice and small. So we're going to be rolling that. We've got one of our good chopping knives. These knives are absolutely brilliant. These are Dell Stronger knives. These are absolutely one of the best knives that you can buy. Get a bit more blue roll. So yeah, so just quickly level that off again. like so. Nice and neat. I'm not a plasterer. Wish I were. I'm not a plasterer. So it's not going to be perfect. And then we're going to start rolling it. Now I would always roll it towards you. You need to fold the end bits over. That's the reason why I said at the beginning, not too bothered about the end bits being untidy. And we're going to just roll it. So you just keep turning it, rolling it, keep turning it, rolling it, like so. Just keep going. Just keep going. Nice and steady. Like that. And there you have it. That's the roulade itself. We're going to cut your piece off. We're going to put it on a plate just so you can see what it looks like when it's cut up. So this is nice and simple. So let's just cut a piece off. And we'll cut a chunk. So we'll cut it at an angle actually, just to give you a better idea. And just put it on a plate like that. And there you have it. A nice, simple mushroom roulade. All done. Nice and tasty. I'll taste a little bit. So yeah, possibly leave it a little bit longer to make sure it's alright. But that gives you the idea. So, mushroom roulade, all done. A little bit of salad garnish. Yeah, you could serve this hot, you could serve this cold. And serve it with a bit of salsa. It's entirely up to yourself. Happy days. Mushroom roulade, little tomato rolls, as we all know that I like them. You can't beat that for a vegetarian dish and purely gluten-free dish. Thank you very much for watching.